RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief for Friday, TGIF, TGI McFridays. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! What show is that from? See if anybody knows any trivia. Actually, I had a really fun time making Simpsons quotes here this morning with our good buddy Ed in the day trader room. We were talking about Monty Burns, right? Monty. Mr. Burns, you're the richest guy I know. Yeah, but I'd trade it all for a little more. Anyway, good to see you. We got a couple. Hey, there's Ed. Remember Ed over there on the YouTube page? Great to see you, buddy. I swear. Boo. Are you saying boo or Boo Earns? Actually, speaking of boo, well, not boo, but I love it when he says it. But we've got Marat on the call here today, Friday. Our OG guest host. I talked so much last Friday that he didn't even get in half of his presentation. Poor guy. It's, of course, the curse that I always have. Isn't that bizarre? Oh, now I hear Chris talking. I wonder what happened. Something happened?
There's an echo somewhere. I don't know if it's
an echo. I've got the mute on the Ninja, so that's fine. All right, so obviously somebody had to do something there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my funny little intro. It's starting a bit late here today, but I suppose late is better than never. Apologies. I guess we had a little bit of a brain fart yesterday. Didn't have an offering. Anyway, that's the way it goes. I have no input on Thursdays. So anyway, let's make sure everything is all tickety-boo. So we try to do these things 15, 20 minutes or so. But what do you think the odds are I get in underneath an hour? I think the odds are pretty good under an hour. But it'll be interesting to see whether I can have this wound up by the bottom half of the hour here at 9:30. So Mark says that's better. So clearly there was something wrong. I have no idea. It wasn't on my end. It must have been on somebody else's end. Or, of course, we used to always joke that the CIA is listening in. And whenever they forget to turn their microphone off, you often hear an echo. So if you hear the echo, it's just Big Brother making sure that the Beamish is slipping that noose around his neck further and further and further and tighter and tighter and tighter. Oh, well. Breadth-wise, interesting market we've been having lately, isn't it? Mark says there was an echo. Yeah, that's what Chris was saying here a second ago. Anyway, and I might as well, I've got quite a bit of activity over there on the YouTube page. So let's do some hellos. Hello, Nore, our German bodybuilder, all around swell guy. Ed, of course, we were hanging in the day trader room this morning. Ed's turning into quite a scalper. I swear, the pit boys, man, Ed, you would be so perfect in the pits as Mr. Scalper. You are a scholar and a gentleman. It's fun watching you in action. Just like our other OGs in the day trader room, Craig is a total boss. And one thing I absolutely love about working with Craig is he is very rule-based. And it's fantastic to watch him in action on a daily basis. One of his rules, I do not trade on Fridays. So as a result, actually, we should probably call him by his screen name. I always call everybody by their real names, and I don't think I'm supposed to do that. Anyway, Casper, hope you're having a good Friday off. There's Adam, like a boss. Oh, we got the Sacramento crew here today. Constantine, echo. Jim and Liz. Hey, cool to see Jim and Liz here. And Mark was giving us some feedback there about how the echo was dealt with. Sina, hello, Sina. Sina's been asking a lot of symbols in the after party. And I suppose it's Friday. Oh, we've got Marat though, so we probably won't do too much DB request room stuff today because Marat's worth listening to just by himself and his relative rotation. You want to say hi to these good people here, sir, in your suave Turkish German way?
Hello, everyone. Nice to be
Hello.
here.
Hello, sir. My favorite memory, I'm such a big fat lazy fat ass. We have this bridge in Vancouver, and Marat was so strong that he actually literally pushed me up the entire hill of the bridge, which is probably like a good mile long, half mile long. It was a very long bike ride. And he pushed me up the whole damn way. He's so strong. Anyway, always good to have those kind of anchors in your life. Omar, working in Palos Verdes, are you, son of a bitch? Hey, there you go. The Wayfarer Chapel. Oh, God, I haven't. You know what's so funny is I went down to LA there a few years ago, and I got like within shooting distance of Palos Verdes. And what's so sad is I'm so old now that all the people that I know and were interacted with, they're all moved away. Nobody lives in California anymore that I used to grow up with. Hell, no. What's so funny is, I mean, I've been here in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland of BC here since 1980. I came here first in '86. Actually, we drove up from LA, and nobody, like literally nobody that I knew from back then while you went to UBC. None of those people are here. Jojo and I lived here for 18 years together. Almost every single person that we knew, they've all left. I mean, it's basically a city of foreigners as far as I'm concerned. I have like literally no friends here. So anyway, fascinating how times have changed. I probably wouldn't even recognize. In fact, I was driving through Torrance, trying to figure out my way back up to my old neighborhood, and I literally got lost trying to get from Torrance Beach back up to PV. So, wow, that shows how old I am. Anyway, good to see you again, Omar, and hello, Gilts. So, it took about 5 minutes there just to say hello to people. So, my apologies. I'll probably go a little bit longer today. Anyway, as we pointed out, it is Friday, TGIF. Also, too, and I didn't really mention this in earnest. Mind you, I wasn't here yesterday, but Wednesday I probably should have mentioned it. But I don't know. Is there anything important considering you are all market experts and traders and look at me, I'm a captain of capitalism and industries. Anything important about today? See if we can get some interaction. Mr. Insights, you should know this answer. You're pretty smart. Actually, it would be interesting if Murad even knows this answer. Hint, hint, hint. Level threeers just spent a month going over this information. And actually, what's fascinating is we had made a grand prediction that into a specific event window here, hint, 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 it's happening now. We were going to see that the VIX mysteriously was going to jump up into the 17 area. And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, the market just absolutely collapsed. And here we are. VIX is up in the 17 area. What a surprise. So let's see if anybody got it. Oh, Glass Insights. Oh, Marat, very good. And actually, would love to you guys to be even more, and girls and houseplants, to be even more specific because nowadays, God, we got options expiring every day of the week, it seems. Is there anything special about the third Friday of the month? Oh, is that kind of important? Anyway, this is the big monthly options expiry. So, well, I don't know, Ed. In fact, Ed and I were looking at this. And if any, in the day trader room, just because we're so awesome and we love to cover all this stuff while we're chit chatting, watching our futures contracts do their thing. I have to say, I haven't been doing very well trading futures lately, so I was exceedingly pleased. I got a couple contracts off at a level, and I was able to book a really nice profit in crude oil land today. It was a tricky day, though. I'll tell you that much. Trying to get my head back on straight trading futures contracts. I've had such a screwy couple of weeks here. Anyway, it is what it is. But Ed and I were having fun watching the crude oil market meltdown. Interesting how all they did was they brought it into ATR, and notice here come the divs. Willie's stupid now, so probably shorts. You better be careful there. And actually, Ed, and I've actually forced myself to put away all the other markets, so I only have crude oil on my screen. You can see the levels I was watching for this morning. Actually, interesting. I don't know if Chris is still trading the opening range trade, but wow, he had actually a really clean opening range trade short in crude this morning. So that was kind of fun watching that play out, moving all the way to 4669s. And actually, this is such a great analogy of this Foggenbaum concept. Really pretty up, down, up into that opening range, broke down. So you can start drawing your foggy buggies. Look how at 2.618, you can see quite a bit of chaos came into the market there. It accepted lower, and 4669. Look how the chaos came in there. Isn't that cool? It's fascinating how that works. Anyway, so as we were chit-chatting about futures and what our future is going to look like, we were perusing the options, and I'd be curious to see whether you guys even remember this. And Ed, you've taken the level 3, so I think you hopefully remember this. What's our rule about the puts? Hint, hint, hint. We want to be thinking about the anchor. Where is the anchor? Actually, I don't even know if this is updated. Let's see if it's updated. So it doesn't surprise me that they moved the market around here this morning. We want to really look for the heaviest put open interest, and you notice there it is there at 545. So I think that's their anchor. You could see the market swim all around here. It is interesting on the 550s, they do have 46,000. I wonder, and I completely agree and understand that probably Wall Street would like very much to make darn sure that the market goes out above this level so that they do not have to pay out on these 46,000 contracts. You can even see right now they're trading at $1.30. I mean, what kind of money are we talking? 46,000 times 100, because these are on 100 shares. So that's what, 4.6 million? Just be curious to see where the average right price is, but to give you an idea how much money's on the line here, and how these boys line in their pockets for the girls up there in the Hamptons, and damn, they are expensive. So look how the open interest just climbing. I think you could make the argument, it's probably like an average somewhere in all of this, probably right in that number right in there. So let's call it the better part of $1. And so we're talking about $4 or $5 million just in option premiums alone on this particular put. So I think you're right, Mr. Fingerburgers. I think they have a pretty incentivized to make darn sure this market goes out somewhere up in this area. And then, of course, if Wall Street can encourage the market to get all the way up into here, and where are we now? Is it likely that they try and get this market to rally 2 or 3 points, maybe even close the S&P up on the day slightly? To see if they can get it up above this 553 area. And of course, they hit massive home run. I don't know. I think probably just and interestingly enough, I would say that this is the level they absolutely do not want the market to go out below, because that is the heaviest open interest, that 545 down there. So anyway, Ed and I were talking a bit about how they're just swashing the market back and forth here today. All right, so little bit of an extra treat there in that We don't usually talk options open interest too much in this free broadcast, but if there is interest after Murat's presentation, we can always circle back around and talk a little bit more about QQQs and all that kind of fun stuff. If anything, something that kind of bums me out recently is you notice that quite a few names in our crypto top 30. Now it seems to be 38. I'm not quite sure why we have so many names in our crypto top 30. But anyway, 11 of the 38 names. So that's like now a quarter of the list is in that attractive area. Still have a couple that are working sort of, hey, if you get a bullish setup here, you probably ought to take advantage of it. So we've seen quite a few markets, these crypto markets jump up quite a bit. So I think the absolute incredible opportunity that we saw there like a week or two ago is dissipating. And having said that, not a big surprise. We are through that July 4th holiday weekend. And it appears in very normal fashion, the crypto market is starting to firm up and look a little bit more positive following that event. Still left scratching my head a little bit. I really don't like the fact that Brent is now well back above 80 levels. We did have the fast come off quite dramatically here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the market work its way back up a bit. Maybe make like an M, some sort of rolling top. But I did notice that a couple of the potential tops that were coming in here, they're kind of getting broken. You can see crypto's catching quite a bit here today, which is interesting considering the direction of the stock market and even the direction of the bond market. See crypto sort of jumping out here on its own, cranking higher. Also, too, something that kind of jumped out at me today, we now have confirmed bullish divergence coming in on the momentum indications here for the US dollar index off the 4-hour chart. So my hunch here is that whatever the slide is that was happening in the sort of growth proxies, you can see that we banged into some chaos here and the market got quite chaotic. We had one more dump, and that dump here, of course, probably a lot of the noobs, Willie stupidly oversold. Probably a lot of the noobs went short here, and it looks like the market's like, I don't think so. Nice try. So what's going on here? I mean, it's not econs. We would talk econs, but there is no econs today. If anything, I think we saw, econs coming out of China that showed that the consumer's getting absolutely destroyed here and retail sales are collapsing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Bank of Canada lower rates. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Canadian dollar is coming off is, I tell you, if the spread between the US rates and the China D's rates gets too wide, you might see the China D's currency go the direction of the actual Chinese currency and the yen and all that, and just get absolutely destroyed here. So, and of course, I'm betting that way. I have been US dollar bullish for quite a few years here now. And it's quite remarkable to say that the cycle turn was actually in 2018. So we're now 6 years into this greed cycle, which means you should still avoid these commodity currencies like the plague. And frankly speaking, I'm not a commodities bull. The only reason why I would be bullish of the raw price of the commodity itself is the whole stupid great reset and all that fucking con job they're pulling on us, Klaus and the 1% and the bankster crooks. Of course, we don't need to Brian to go down that rabbit hole and waste a half an hour bitching and complaining. So, it's kind of a mixed bag here. The stocks are not really that happy and the bonds aren't really that happy either. Interesting to see that at the same time. Gold and silver not really happy. And of course, crude oil is absolutely puking out. And interestingly enough, as I said, I am a commodity bear and I will be until 2035. I do believe, aside from Colonel Mustard doing in the drawing room with a candlestick, that crude prices have topped. I think that the cycle has come and gone. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Speaking of the stock market, I have been talking to you guys of late about waiting. When Willie goes stupidly overbought like this, it's in your best interest just to leave the market alone. Don't think about stepping in on the long side here. You can see Willie went stupid there back basically the end of May. And interesting how Ed was mentioning this, that he noticed that the book map, I think that's what you call it, right, Ed? It started to go really screwy. Like, was it the actual people that were running the book map that were fucking around and screwing up with the data? Or was it Wall Street was completely manipulating the order book to make sure that a very specific outcome developed? But we did notice, and if anything, not this week, but next week, level threeers will be doing trading with the DOM module. That's all about depth of the market and heat maps and, counters ratios in crypto land and all that. Ed, I think, is our consummate site professional when it comes to using that, and he uses it on a daily basis, trading with my old prop firm. And congratulations, Ed, on getting working with them. Actually, Chris also too is working with them. It's fascinating how many people I've sent to that damn prop firm. You would think that they would at least send me a thank you note or something. No. Oh well. But anyway, point of the matter here is lots of cautionary warnings. And now you can actually see, this is my favorite raw momentum indicator, the MACD histogram. And you can see I use special settings that I like myself for the MACD. It has broken down. And actually what I would call this now is a double divergence. In fact, you might even argue, believe it or not, son of a gun, this is actually not a double divergence. This is a triple divergence, triple D's. Oh, goodness. I know that there are ladies in the audience, so I'll try and keep the the innuendo to a minimum, but triple D's. You think Brian likes triple D's? Oh, goodness. Yes, I do. I love triple D's. So we're doing some serious technical damage to this bull. This bull is just like, it's gasping for air right now. And of course, interesting too, Julian on the site, he absolutely loves his relative strength index. I think you can make the argument that now you have a confirmed divergence there in RSI as well. Can't see it because these stupid little arrow things. There it is there. You can see price made higher highs, but RSI did not. Of course, Willie, nice and stupid. And now coming out of the stupid zone, is it in any of our best interest to step in front of this? This is a freight train. Really, really bad. Now, what is it that's causing this? I mean, you can't really argue that there was a whole bunch of really bad econs and, oh my God, the economy's collapsing. There must be something else going on here. I'm thinking like ear piercings. I don't know. Does that ring a bell? I'm thinking old men that love to sniff little girls' hairs have now mysteriously come down with COVID. Oh, what a convenient excuse now. Well, I'm actually too sick with the COVID. And keep in mind, the COVID's still there, so you better go get your vaccinations and pay the pharmaceutical stocks and your health insurance or lots and lots and lots of money so they keep making profits. I mean, it's stunning how corrupt this society is. It is brutally corrupt. Now, I'm surprised they haven't ramped up. Well, and also, too, remember, we got to send more tanks over to Ukraine. So there's another $10 billion in funding for whoever the hell makes Abrams tanks. And, of course, all the missiles and ammunition that go with it. I mean, it's just brutal how corrupt this whole damn thing is. Anyway, could you make the argument that maybe the people that were driving the bus and that were having a great old time, all the tech people, If I'm not mistaken, mysteriously, I think Microsoft all of a sudden news overnight that one of their software packages is causing computers to crash around the world. Airplanes. Does anybody remember, speaking of speaking of The Simpsons, do you remember The Simpsons reference to Y2K? I wonder if any of you are old enough to remember Y2K. I was a broker through Y2K. I remember that specifically. The Simpsons, they make reference, right? Airplanes are just do, 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 do. All of a sudden Y2K happens and then boom, they just fall right out of the sky straight down. Oh, we're at the bottom half of the hour, eh? All right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, give me some feedback over there on YouTube. Did you guys get any value out of what I've been saying here today? I hope you have. I guess we'll wind this free broadcast up relatively quickly here. And I was kind of sad. Who is doing really well in this world? Turns out that companies that run prison blocks, no, that we shouldn't call them prison cells. That's not fair. Oh, apartments. That's what they're called. And interesting, our system spat up a buy signal on this thing about a week or so ago. And look at this fucking thing. Talk about corrupt society. So it turns out that, in China to here, for example, they're bringing over just a ton of people. And none of these people have any money. They're all going to like Tim Hortons to get jobs. In fact, it was funny. There was a commentator, a Canadian commentator just recently, who went into a Tim Hortons and said, "Hey, everybody, look! I'm in India." Because you look around and Tim Hortons doesn't hire a single white person. Every single person working there was Indian. It's like, what the hell has happened to this country? So they're all stuffed in these apartments and they're putting these apartment blocks up like crazy. And obviously, these apartment block companies are doing very, very well in this society. A bit of a sad commentary. But anyway, so that's who's doing well in the stock market these days. Heading over to crypto, and I got to say, I was pretty impressed with Bitcoin here. Interesting how I was looking for some sort of pullback, and Bitcoin said, "Yeah, I don't think so." In fact, we were working shorts there off of this double top breakdown, which I think came in yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was Wednesday. Then we quickly put in the double bottom. And I wonder, I mean, the scary thing is I wonder whether all these computers crashing around the world, whether this is going to be one of these things where it's actually some nefarious party and they're going to demand ransom. And of course, you have to pay in Bitcoins. So are all the companies around the world all scrambling to buy up Bitcoins to pay the ransom? I don't know. Is this a function? I get the impression, actually, in a weird sort of way, this is quite a disconnect, because for quite some time, we actually had the stock market and crypto moving in the same direction. But you can clearly see crypto is heading one direction and the stock market is heading a completely different direction. So that's a bit of a surprise. That's something new. Well, we'll keep an eye on that and see if this disconnect continues. I do like the idea. You see the US dollar index itself rallying smartly here. I like the idea that, believe it or not, actually, Bitcoin's kind of like a risk off kind of bet now. And interesting how gold can't even catch a bid here. It's only Bitcoin. So notice US dollar quite firm on the day and crypto quite firm. I'd also say too, and we did point this out on the site, I didn't do nearly as much buying as I would have liked to. And that's just personal issues. I'm not really that computer savvy. And, the way the regulators have really cracked down on this space, we were really trying to do this through DeFi, and Brian completely fucked it up. So I'll be more than happy to teach you how to try and behave in the marketplace and manage money. But when it comes to actually crypto, and this technology and all that, don't look to Brian for guidance. I'll tell you when these things are a buy, but how you actually go and buy them, I'll leave that up to you. But we had a few names like, and I was even posting in the lounge start before we started the meeting here. These are names that I mentioned to everybody through these videos, and you could have literally just said, "All right, the Beamish says that a W's come in, so let's go and buy that. We'll risk basically to a break of the lows." This particular case, I mean, I always encourage people to try and take some profits if you're going to trade these things at like 2-to-1 risk reward. So that would have been in that area there. You would have taken profits a couple days ago. It was interesting how this guy actually made all the way up to 4669, which is about a 2.65 risk reward, and now has calmed down. But long and short of it here, major winner and completely walked everybody through this. So you can't say that the opportunities weren't both there and presented to you guys. I mean, it's shocking how cliche this all was. And there's another one that was good old Cripple, and Cripple often moves in conjunction with Stellar Lumens. So we pull up Stellar Lumens chart, and oh, what a surprise! Look at him go. So he did it as 2.618. He hasn't quite done as well as Cripple, but had you taken this trade, I would certainly hope that you'd taken some profits at things like 2-to-1s. Actually, this guy didn't quite hit 2-to-1 yet. Right now, this is there is the 2-to-1, and really, I guess we could bring that down just a little bit. There we are. And this is a good example of when you hit at least 50% of your profit margin. It's not a bad idea just to move stops to scratch. So that way a winning trade doesn't turn into a losing trade. If this 3-bar fractal here fires and you're like, Brian, we made some good money, we're up. I just want to hop because I don't like the technical look of this. I wouldn't fault you for it. But I do think that probably the smart thing on a trade like this is just simply have your stop at scratch and just live with the results. And if this thing acts like Cripple, there's 4669 all the way up there. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Also, too, the Horizon Zen. I completely walked the public through this one. And geez, what a pretty chart. It's just so cliche. So there's the double bottom. In fact, this was a triple bottom. Really, really good looking buy signal. I mean, Jim and Liz, maybe you're not quite ready to trade these things when it is appropriate, but I hope you guys learned about, for God's sakes, don't chase. And then, when they're selling or when they're yelling, you should be selling. Now, obviously, we weren't long. I mean, I was long, banging out doubles, blah, blah, blah. Now that they brought the market right back down to the bottom, when they're crying into that holiday weekend, is just so perfectly cliche. I guess this guy was even a little bit before the holiday weekend, but nonetheless, if I trade W's within W's. Okay, well, I sure hope you went long. A beautiful 2-to-1s. This guy, he's just going for it. I don't know where the hell this thing's going to stop. I would like, as I said before, I like the idea, put at least take some profits at the bare minimum. You want to take 100% profits at 2-to-1? I don't have a problem with that. But maybe you sell half of it, move your stop scratch on the remaining, and just see where the hell the wind takes you. So you'd still be long half of your position. Maybe you want to use the 3 high-low method we teach in our education program to trail stops, which means 1, 2, 3. You'd probably have your stop just right there now, or maybe there. It doesn't matter. Anyway, point of the matter here is, gee whiz, crypto sure is enjoying a really nice window here. And actually, frankly speaking, a little surprised at how strong it is considering the weakness in the broader market. Also, too, we'll have Sjord back from his holiday break. And probably I'm going to go on vacation for a couple weeks following him because I could really use a bit of a recharge. And I'm really warming to the idea of going down to Southern Oregon and picking up a nice piece of property down there and kind of using that as my cottage, if you will. So I think I'm probably going to hop in the car and head off to Oregon and do a little bit of snooping. But and I do know that this Noia, I know it was reorganized. I can't remember just off the top of my head what the reorg symbol is and stuff like that. So obviously I'll get that corrected. I was talking to you guys about this hello. I never did get to go and buy some because, as I said, I just a total brain fart anything that's non-Solana related, it's such a headache for me to even consider right now. But I mean, you can see the double bottom. This is on a clothesline basis. And you could even argue double bottom within a double bottom, and there it goes. So it's doing its thing. Quite remarkable how cliche this is. So, if anything, my suggestion to you all is make some sort of note. If nothing else, all of you should have really learned about somebody's birthday. Well, we better be careful. And usually, seasonally, this crypto market turns through the July 4th holiday weekend. If you can't learn from what we all just went through, and the cool part about it is that most of you, I see you here every single day. It's usually the same crew. And a lot of the people, maybe put a comment if you could in the video that, yeah, I watch you, right? I mean, I see a lot of people that say, I watch you. It might be after the fact, but I've watched you for like 5-10 years now, Brian. So please put a note in the comments, maybe all of you, all 27 of you, wouldn't that be cool? When did you start watching this? And did you learn anything over this seasonal window that just happened in here in crypto? Because this was, if nothing else, this was stunningly educational for all of us. All right, I think I'll leave the free broadcast at that. We started, about 7-8 minutes past the top of the hour. I did spend about 5 minutes or so just blabbing about Simpsons quotes and futures trading with Ed and stuff this morning. So finishing here at 9:41, it's about a half an hour. So I hope you enjoyed that offering. And keep your eyes peeled for the W's, because as they're coming in, there's no reason why you can't participate. But understand, there's no guarantees in any of this. What we do is we're statisticians by trade. And what I would strongly caution all of you is, for God's sakes, don't chase like this cripple here, or any of these things that have popped up nicely here. You can't go and buy the top end of the market now and just sort of say, oops, well, I missed the double bottom, but it's okay, I'll go buy here. You can't do that. You just can't. So, if you missed this trade, you missed it. And what do we say? Next bus in how long? Anyway, let's go over, hang out with Murat. Of course, I'll see you all again for free broadcast on Sunday. Would love to encourage you all to come and join the site. And yeah, we have a 30-day trial, but I even think the basic site membership is very affordable. So we'd all love to see you in the after party here shortly. Murat, you ready to rock these people's worlds?
Let's rock.
All right, there you go. Have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins the race. The only thing left for Brian to say to you good people is bye for now.